Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by telling you that this next hour can completely change your life. Yes, you heard me right. 1 hour, 60 minutes. That's all it takes to set in motion a chain of events that could transform your personal and professional life in ways you can't even imagine right now. There was a time in my life when I was just like you, sitting where you're sitting, listening to speakers talk about change and success, thinking, this sounds great, but will it work for me? Can my life really change in an hour? The answer, my friends, is yes. I've seen it, I've lived it, and today I'm going to show you how it can work for you too, but only if you're willing to take action. Now, I know you're wondering how all of this can happen in just 1 hour. Here's the first key to your transformation: intentionality. Intentionality is the catalyst for change. When you commit to a focused purpose, you direct all of your energy toward that goal. It's like a laser beam, narrow, focused, powerful. For instance, I remember a time when I set a single goal for myself to get better at sales. For weeks I tried and failed, but I didn't give up. I intentionally spent 60 minutes each day working on improving my sales pitch. I wasn't perfect, but I was focused. And do you know what happened? In just 1 hour a day, I began to see results I had been chasing for months. That hour made all the difference. Intentionality isn't about random activity. It's about purposeful action. Take this hour right now and think about your most important goal. You're here today, so let's make this hour count. What can you focus on? Where can you direct your energy? The simple act of being intentional can change everything. The second key is mindset. So often we think the external world determines our success, our background, our resources, our connections, but the truth is your mindset is the ultimate game changer. When you shift from a limited mindset to an abundant mindset, everything changes. Let me tell you about a time when I had no resources, no contacts, no money, but I had one thing going for me: a mindset that I could figure it out. I knew deep down that the only thing standing between me and my dreams was my ability to shift my thinking. I remember vividly how once I started believing that abundance was available to me, that opportunity came flooding in. In just a few short months, I turned my financial situation around because I changed the way I thought. I stopped thinking small. I stopped thinking about lack. I started thinking, there is more out there for me. I can find it. I can do this. What mindset shifts do you need to make today? The third key to success is consistency. Now, I'm sure you've heard this word before, but let me tell you, it's not just a buzzword. Consistency is the glue that holds everything together. Small actions repeated every day compound to create massive results. In my own journey, I didn't see immediate success, but I kept going. Whether it was showing up every day to learn, to make calls, or to practice my craft, I kept moving forward. I knew that momentum was the key to lasting change. Let me give you a personal example. When I first started my business, I struggled with many of the same challenges you might face. I didn't have everything figured out, but I committed to taking consistent action every single day, every single hour. And guess what? 1 hour of focused effort compounded over time, built a business that continues to thrive. The fourth key is breaking through fear and doubt. Let me be clear, you will face fear, you will face doubt. But the only way to break through is to embrace discomfort. Fear is not the enemy, inaction is. I used to be afraid of failure, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of not being enough. But I learned that fear only loses its power when you step into it. When you act in spite of fear, you break its hold over your life. One of the most powerful things we can do is set a clear intention for our lives. Imagine for a moment that you're standing at the edge of a vast field. You can go in any direction, but unless you decide which path to take, you'll stand there spinning in circles, wasting precious time and energy. Intention is your compass, your guide through the field of life. It's the force that propels you forward with purpose. When I look back at my journey, I can pinpoint the exact moments where everything changed for me, and it wasn't because of some grand gesture or perfect opportunity. It was when I decided to focus. For instance, I had this vision of being able to teach people how to overcome their obstacles, how to break through the limits they put on themselves. But at the time, I had no audience, no platform, no established credibility. Yet, I set an intention, a decision in my heart that I was going to focus on one thing, providing value to others. I knew that I had to build my platform, but I had to start with intention, the intention to teach and serve. It wasn't about perfecting everything all at once, but it was about making the conscious choice to start, to show up, to deliver, and to focus on one goal. The beauty of intention is that it gives you clarity in a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming. You know exactly where to direct your time and energy. Instead of feeling scattered and distracted, you become laser focused. You prioritize what matters. Take this hour we're sharing right now. This hour can be a turning point, but only if you approach it with intention. If you sit here passively, listening but not engaging, it won't do much for you. But if you decide right now that you're going to walk away from this hour with one action plan, one decision, one shift in your thinking, then this hour will change your life. What are you going to focus on today? That focus is the key to everything. If you haven't set clear intentions for your life, now is the time. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal set of circumstances. Intentionality doesn't depend on everything being just right. It's about making a commitment to yourself, to your future, and to your goals. When you set an intention, you set a course for your life. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a step in the direction of what you want to achieve. And when you commit to living with intention, you'll notice something powerful happening. You begin to attract the right opportunities, the right people, the right experiences. When your intention is clear, the world starts to align in your favor. That's the magic of focusing your energy on what truly matters. The power of mindset is truly transformative. Your mindset shapes how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and how you ultimately create success. When I first started my entrepreneurial journey, my mindset was limited by the belief that I wasn't enough, that I didn't have the resources, and that I didn't have what it took to succeed. I often found myself stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and fear, unable to move forward because I was convinced that the world was too big and I was too small to make a difference. But then something shifted. It wasn't a moment of revelation, but a series of small realizations that led me to the belief that abundance is available to everyone, not just a select few. I started to see the opportunities all around me, and I began to believe that if someone else could succeed, I could too. The game changer was not in the opportunities themselves, but in the mindset shift. I moved from a mindset of scarcity, where I thought there was never enough to go around, to a mindset of abundance, where I truly began to believe that there was more than enough for everyone, including me. I began to embrace the idea that success wasn't something reserved for the elite or the few lucky individuals. Success was a product of believing that I was worthy of it and taking the necessary steps to claim it. Once I made that shift, doors started to open in ways I never thought possible. Opportunities presented themselves that I hadn't seen before. I began attracting the right people into my life, people who supported me, mentored me, and helped me grow. But it wasn't just about external opportunities. A shift in mindset also changed the way I saw myself. I stopped viewing challenges as roadblocks, and instead, I began to see them as opportunities for growth. Each obstacle became a lesson, each failure a stepping stone. I realized that failure was never final. It was simply feedback. When I stopped viewing myself through the lens of limitation and started seeing myself as someone capable of achieving greatness, I began to approach life with a different energy. That change in perspective fueled action. Instead of waiting for things to happen, I started making them happen. I realized that I wasn't waiting for success to come to me. I was creating it with every thought, decision, and action I took. Mindset is not just about thinking positively, It's about aligning your thoughts with the belief that you have the power to create the life you want. When you believe that success is available to you, you start making decisions that align with that belief. You take action. You don't wait for the perfect moment because you know that the moment is now, and your mindset will drive you forward. So many people spend their entire lives waiting for the right moment or the right opportunity to come to them. But success begins in your mind. If you don't believe it's possible, no amount of opportunity will make a difference. When you change your mindset, you change your whole approach to life. You start looking for possibilities instead of limitations, solutions instead of problems. In this very moment, I encourage you to shift your mindset. Recognize that you are not limited by your circumstances. Your success is not determined by your background, your education, or your current situation. Success is determined by your belief in your own potential and your willingness to act on that belief. The most important step you can take today is not the first step towards your goal, but the first step towards changing your mind. When you change your mind, you change your future. Consistency is often one of the most overlooked elements of success, yet it is the one that drives lasting results. Many people start strong with grand ambitions, excitement, and energy, but as time goes on, that initial spark fades and they fall into the trap of starting something only to abandon it halfway. Consistency is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful, the achievers from the dreamers. When I reflect on my journey, I realize that the only reason I am where I am today is because of my consistent actions. The first steps I took toward building my business weren't glamorous, nor were they filled with instant success. In fact, there were days when I felt like I wasn't making any progress at all. There were days when I worked for hours on end and saw little to no result, but I didn't give up. Every day I showed up. Every day I put in the work, whether it felt like it was paying off or not. Here's the thing about consistency. It's not about doing something perfectly. It's about showing up day in and day out and taking consistent action even when the results aren't immediate. Consistency compounds. Small actions, when repeated over time, lead to big results. Think about it like building a house. The first few days of laying the foundation might seem insignificant. You may look at the ground and think, this doesn't look like much. But those seemingly insignificant steps are the foundation upon which everything else will be built. In my case, I didn't start out with a huge platform or a massive following, but I committed to being consistent in the small things. Every single day, I showed up and delivered something of value, whether it was a social media post, a video, or a blog. Slowly but surely, the momentum started to build. I started attracting people who resonated with my message. They didn't just show up because of one great post or one viral video. They showed up because I had consistently shown up for them. Consistency built trust. Over time, that trust turned into loyalty, and that loyalty turned into the kind of success that can't be bought or faked. I remember a particular instance where I felt like nothing was working. My business was struggling, and it seemed like no matter how hard I worked, the results just weren't coming fast enough. But in that moment of frustration, I realized something crucial. Success doesn't happen in bursts. It happens in the everyday grind. It's not about waiting for that one big breakthrough. It's about embracing the process. So I doubled down on the daily actions, no matter how small they seemed. I stayed consistent. And sure enough, the results came. They didn't come all at once, but over time, the small victories added up. The momentum I built through consistent effort carried me through the tough times, and eventually, success followed. Here's a powerful truth. Small, consistent actions are more powerful than grand gestures or one-time efforts. Consistency doesn't demand perfection. It only demands effort, persistence, and a refusal to quit. Success is not reserved for those who take giant leaps. It's reserved for those who show up day after day and put in the work. When you commit to consistency, you begin to build something strong, something sustainable. You create momentum that pushes you forward even when you feel like stopping. The key to success is not about finding a shortcut. It's about committing to the long haul. So I challenge you today, embrace consistency. The small actions you take every day will lead you to the results you desire. It might not be immediate, but rest assured, The consistency you put in today will be the foundation of your success tomorrow. One of the most significant yet often misunderstood principles in the journey to success is self-belief. It's easy to look at others and see their success, their wealth, their accomplishments, and think that they have something that you don't, something that they were born with or that was handed to them. But the truth is, belief in yourself is the key that unlocks every door you wish to walk through. It doesn't matter where you start or what resources you have. What matters is whether or not you believe that you are capable of achieving great things. I've had my own struggles with self-doubt. When I started, I wasn't the most skilled, the most experienced, or even the most confident. I came from humble beginnings with very few resources, but I had one thing that made all the difference. I believed in myself. I believed that despite my limitations, despite the challenges that lay before me, I had what it took to succeed. I remember thinking, if other people can do it, so can I. And with that belief, I began to take the necessary steps toward making my dreams a reality. Self-belief isn't about being arrogant or thinking that you're better than everyone else. It's about recognizing your own potential, understanding that you have something valuable to offer, and knowing that no matter what obstacles come your way, you have the strength to overcome them. Belief in yourself is not a one-time feeling. It's a daily commitment. It's waking up every morning and choosing to trust that the efforts you put in, no matter how small they seem, will pay off. It's knowing that even when failure knocks on your door, and it will, those setbacks don't define you. What defines you is your ability to rise again and keep going. You see, every single successful person I know started out with nothing more than a belief in themselves. I've met countless people who at one point had no idea how they were going to achieve their dreams, but they had one thing that pushed them forward. They believed they could. The people who rise above the noise, the chaos, and the doubt are the ones who trust in their own abilities, even when others don't. Self-belief is the fuel that keeps the fire of ambition burning. Without it, the journey becomes nearly impossible. Think about it. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? How can you expect others to believe in you if you don't even believe in your own abilities? Self-belief is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, you'll constantly be second-guessing yourself, hesitating to take risks, and doubting every decision you make. But when you believe in yourself, something incredible happens. You start to make decisions with confidence. You take bold actions, and you begin to see results. Even when things don't go according to plan, that belief will keep you grounded, reminding you that setbacks are simply part of the process. There was a time in my journey when I doubted myself and the decisions I was making. I faced challenges that made me question if I was even on the right path. But in those moments of uncertainty, I kept reminding myself, I am capable of this. I can do this. I believe in what I'm building. That unwavering belief gave me the courage to continue moving forward. It gave me the strength to push through the hardest of times. And when I look back now, I realize that the only thing that truly separated me from those who didn't make it was that I refused to give up on myself. So I ask you today, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you are capable of achieving greatness regardless of where you come from or what you've faced? The most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to nurture your self-belief. It doesn't matter if you failed before, if people doubt you, or if the road ahead seems uncertain. What matters is that you believe in your ability to persevere, to learn, and to grow. When you believe in yourself, the world begins to open up in ways you never imagined. Your actions change, your attitude shifts, and suddenly what once seemed impossible becomes within reach. Believe in yourself even when no one else does. That belief will carry you through the toughest challenges and push you toward the success you desire. When you develop unwavering self-belief, you become unstoppable. And that is when your dreams start to come true.